Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Kenneth St. Charles, Vice President for Philanthropy at the Greater New Orleans Foundation. And let me begin by first welcoming everyone to our Impact 100 pitch event sponsored by Viller & Company. Our President, CEO, Andy Copland, could not be with us today. He did ask me to send his regrets and also to send his appreciation again to the wonderful members of Impact 100 who are the backbone of what we do as we support nonprofits. So Andy wants to send his appreciation and thank you for being here in Andy's behalf. So each year, for the past 11 years, the women of Impact 100 have given selflessly to pool their funds together with the purpose of making a single transformative grant to a local nonprofit. These transformative grants are game changers for the recipient nonprofits, as you know, who upon receiving this $100,000 grant will make their own transformative changes for the clients and citizens that they are committed to serving. Again, thank you to our current 2023 Impact 100 members for your generosity and consistent support. We are so very fortunate and pleased to announce that we have 126 active members for 2023. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our Impact 100 presenting sponsor. Viller & Company was founded in 1911 and has for more than a century crafted customized investment solutions for individuals and institutional investors with a commitment to highly personalized service. For many of these years, the Greater New Orleans Foundation and Viller & Company have worked together to provide innovative philanthropic services to countless families and individuals interested in the well-being of our community. Viller & Company has served as the presenting sponsor of Impact 100 since 2019, and we are so very thankful and honored for their continued leadership and unwavering commitment to our community. On behalf of the Impact 100 members, as well as the frontline nonprofits and the thousands of citizens they are fortunate to serve, thank you again to Viller & Company for your generosity and belief in our mission. At this time, please join me in welcoming to the podium Viller & Company partners George Young, who is a Greater New Orleans Foundation fund holder and a former board member. I like to say that every time George is with us. And Lamar Villeray, also a fund holder with the Greater New Orleans Foundation.
Thank you very much. We're thrilled to be here, as we have been for the last several years. It's certainly nice to be back in person rather than doing this in front of a camera and hoping that people are watching on Zoom at home. Just as a reminder, as Kenneth mentioned, Viller & Company works with Greater New Orleans Foundation, and one of the main areas that we're able to potentially be helpful to you and to folks that you know is a lot of people wind up looking at their portfolio one day and realize they have a whole lot of one stock that has gone way up. And the classic example is Exxon. A lot of people have a ton of their money buried in Exxon and they don't want to pay a lot of taxes. That's something we can help with. We've worked with Greater New Orleans Foundation countless times and look forward to doing so in the future. But if there's anything we can do, either in terms of just traditional investing or helping with a problem like that, please do let us know. And again, we're thrilled to be here, and thank you all very much, and glad to be a sponsor.
Thank you, George and Lamar. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the chair of the Impact 100 Advisory Board, Dr. Halima Leek Francis, who will also serve as today's MC.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm so very happy to be here today. This is one of my favorite events, so much so that I wore my fun tennis shoes, also being comfortable as well, but more so to wear my fun tennis shoes. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming out. It's wonderful to see you here today. As Kenneth shared, my name is Halima Leek Francis, and I am so honored to be the chair of Impact 100 for this year. This has been an incredible experience, and I just look forward to all the good work that we will continue to do as we move forward as Impact 100. So thank you for the support and the commitment of time and energy and resources that you have poured into Impact 100. So first, give yourselves a round of a hand for that, or a hand of applause. Also, I want to thank other members of the advisory board. So if you're an advisory board member here, please wave your hand so we can recognize you and celebrate you. Thank you to the advisory board members. I could not stand here and do the work of welcoming you and celebrating the organizations who are doing tremendous work in our community without having a dedicated and committed advisory board, some of whom go back to the founding of our Impact 100 chapter. So I really want to let you know how much I appreciate each and every one of you, so thank you. Now, I must say, as I shared, this is one of my favorite events, second only to our check presentation, which we'll get to tomorrow. But today we are truly in for a treat. We'll hear engaging pitches from 4 nonprofits in our region, those who you had the opportunity to select. The organizations that we'll be hearing from are the Coastal Community Consulting in the Community Improvement category. We'll hear from STEM Library Lab in the education category, Friends of Lafitte Greenway in the environment category, and the Split Second Foundation in the health category. So really quickly, to just give you an overview of what you can expect. First, we will see videos from each nonprofit so that we can get a better idea of who they are and all that they've contributed to our region. Following the video, each nonprofit representative, they will have one representative who'll give a brief pitch on how their organization will use and leverage Impact 100 funding. Then you will have the opportunity to ask each organization any clarifying questions that you might have. So in an effort to keep things moving along and moving smoothly, we want to limit the Q&A to about 3 minutes per pitch. So this is a quick pace, fun, engaging experience, but again, I reiterate, quick pace. So first up, we will hear from Sandy Ha Nguyen, the Executive Director of Coastal Community Consulting, and we'll start with the video from Coastal Community Consulting.
My name is Sandy Ha Nguyen. I am the Executive Director of Coastal Communities Consulting. I am fluent also in Vietnamese.
My name is Christina Luong. ខ្ញុំធ្វើការនៅ CCC ជាង10ឆ្នាំហើយ
We also service 7 parishes along the coast. We do it in 4 different languages.
My name is Katrina Williams. Yo hago nuestros clientes con todos, por ejemplo, programas de desarrollo económico, especialmente programas de inmigración.
My name is Annie Nguyen. My title is Business Services Coordinator. Việc làm của tôi là dịch vụ mấy người khách, những gì mà họ cần thiết.
CCC is a 501c3 nonprofit organization servicing coastal entrepreneurs, Southeast Louisiana entrepreneurs and their family, with a focus on 4 areas: business technical assistance, economic development, disaster assistance, and environmental education advocacy.
ធម្មតាភ្ញៀវដែលមកជួបខ្ញុំអញ្ចឹងគេត្រូវការជួយក្រាស់ស្នាមក្រៅពីហ្នឹងខ្ញុំធ្វើការឲ្យ CCC ពីលេខកាស
We'll service over 2,000 clients.
We are almost the backbone of a lot of our clients.
This is what we do. We provide coastal entrepreneurs with the tools to sustain both on land and at sea.
Who's going to help them translate? Who's going to help with their business? I believe that CCC play a vital role.
We've been able to recover over $45 million in BP settlement. We look at every boat as a family. So technical assistance with businesses is vital to sustaining the family as well as the community.
We really can make a difference so that everyone has a more equitable life.
Do things that matters to that family, to small businesses, to communities, to environment, and doing things that matters to enhance equity, inclusion, justice for all.
Hello, everyone. Do y'all know why seafood in the state of Louisiana tastes better than any other Gulf states? It is because our state is positioned where the fresh water of the mighty Mississippi River flows into the Gulf of Mexico, creating a mixture called brackish water. Brackish water creates an exquisite taste of seafood that have drawn people from all over the world to Louisiana for our seafood, to eat at our restaurant, and boost our economy. The seafood industry is one of Louisiana's 3 top industry, generating over $4 million in revenue and generating over 1 billion pounds of seafood annually. The industry is not only a main source of income, but a way of life and a culture for generations of families across coastal Louisiana. Today, our shrimp industry has collapsed, and other fisheries are just struggling along. Our own federal government has shut us down by allowing the flood of imported, uninspected seafood into our country, drastically dropping domestic shrimp price year after year for over 2 decades. Today, our shrimp price is not just low or unfair or at poverty level anymore. Today, our shrimp price is inhumane. In the 80s and the 90s, when my father was shrimping, jumbo shrimp price at dockside were $4 a pound, and diesel was 80 cents per gallon. Today, our shrimp price is at 80 cents a pound, and diesel is at $4 a gallon. The impact is real, and it stretches from the businessman, the fisherman, to our local economy. Restaurants, bars, supply shops are all feeling the negative impact of the shrimp industry's collapse through job losses and business closure. And we have absolutely no control over any of the issues that has made the industry collapse. With the 100 Impact Funds, CCC will help coastal communities, families, and small businesses rise from this devastating crisis. The vote of $100,000 will give our staff the financial support to keep thousands of coastal families afloat. The funding will help us, really help us figure out things for the fishermen, help them maintain their businesses, support members of the families with a secondary income stream, right? And to provide tools for parents to better plan for their children's future along the coast. Our community depends on us to keep the rich culture of fishing that the Louisiana and our nation rely on. And this is what's most important to me today. Thank you for listening to our story. Does anyone have questions? Questions?
Is your group mostly involved with shrimpers or oystermen or other fishing cultures?
Our organization serves all commercial fishermen, as well as small businesses that are dependent on the fishing industry.
Can you tell us a little bit about the programming that you do, the services that you offer that are going to help and benefit your community?
We have this, what they call a very unique service that we provide, very direct assistance to these small businesses. You know, commercial fishermen many of our fishermen do not understand that they are a business. And so business technical assistance is the most needed in the office. You know, educating them and guiding them through the process of, you know, how to open it, how to keep your business going, maintaining, compliances and things like that. In addition to making sure that they recover after every disaster. They're wholly. Nowadays, we try to recover them not only wholly, but more resilience for the future, given, coastal restoration projects, climate change. So, after Ida, our way of helping disaster recovery has changed to not just being whole, but bigger and better to have a more resilient future. But it's hard when there's so many, challenges that we've faced throughout the years. And the challenges are very different now because there's war, COVID. It's hard. And therefore, I think it's the reason why we collapsed today. And so, I have to change our ways of working in the office in the future too, because of the changes. So they drive us, our clients. And we do it in their language, so that's great.
So to follow up on that last question.
Yes.
If you were to win the $100,000 and you have your budget that you use right now, and Jane was asking about programming, how would your budget look different? In other words, how would the funds be allocated since it's a one-time transformative gift?
Mm-hmm.
How would you use it for this 1 year to make a difference, to help with your sustainability and growth for the future?
Our office right now is 100% owned and fund women. 5 different cultures in our office. However, the kind of work that we do, no one does. Like bagging myself up and going out to coastal Louisiana for 2 weeks in order for our fishermen to get $4.9 million in CARE Act money. So if I didn't do that, they would just bypass it. And we're always short on staff. That's the thing that we're probably going to focus on right now to accommodate the over 2,000 families that we're in our customer list right now. We probably will focus on locating a new staff. Now, if I can do it my way, I would take that $100,000 and do small loans to the fishermen that can't work today, move into another industry as a secondary income. But I can't do that because I'm not an FDIC, but that's what I would do. $10,000 for one of my skimmer captain, saying I need $10,000 just put on down payment on a car so I can start Ubering, right? The winter coming up is going to be rough. We already went through 3 funerals in 1 month, one of them being a multi-million-dollar dock owner. He killed himself. So I don't understand how to explain it even more, but it is what it is. No one knows about us, so it's hard to get people to understand. But that would be what we do, and it's very difficult to find workers that's passionate and patient and look at our clients like family for them to be able to service them. Good people, hardworking people.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandy. And as you hear, the work of Coastal Community Consulting is making a tremendous impact. And as we go through these pitches, I'm also always reflecting on what would our communities look like if they didn't exist, if these organizations did not exist. And it always amplifies the amount and the importance of our contributions and our investment and our confidence in the work that they do. So thank you for sharing, Sandy. Before we go to our next pitch, so I promised you we'd have a little bit of fun. So we're going to have some Louisiana trivia. Now, as a native North Carolinian, I learned a lot reading through some of these trivia questions, but this one I knew the answer to, so I want to see if you know the answer. So, New Orleans blues funk legend Dr. John recorded the song Down in New Orleans for what Disney animated film? Feel free to yell out if you know the answer. I heard it. Who was it? Princess and the Frog. Yes, thank you. Wonderful, great job. I do not have a gift for you, but we will all celebrate that you know the answer. Another question. So what is the date that Louisiana joined the United States? Now, this one's a little bit more difficult. Specific date, month, day, and year. We don't know. Was anyone paying attention in history class? Google it. Just guess. Throw out a year, maybe. No. I heard a close date. 18 is in the neighborhood. No. A little bit further. 18. No, not 1830. So between 1803 and 1830. Okay, so 1817, we will give you an applause. It's 1812. So you were within 5 years. April 30th, 1812. If you want to give the young people in your life perhaps a challenge, a hard time, ask them that question. My son probably will know the answer like that and be like, you didn't know? Yes, no, I didn't know. All right, so with that, I'm pleased to introduce our next nonprofit, and this is in the education category. So our next nonprofit will be STEM Library. And STEM Library, as I shared, is in the education category. We'll be hearing from their executive director, Todd Wackerman. So as with our previous presentation, we have the video queued up. Then you'll hear Todd's presentation, and you'll learn more about STEM Library, and you'll have opportunities to ask questions. So with that, STEM Library.
I'm Todd Wackerman. I'm the Executive Director of STEM Library Lab. STEM Library Lab is poised for growth. We believe libraries are community gathering spaces, and we're excited to create a space that allows teachers to be their best selves to serve all the students in our community.
To be able to provide next level chemistry instruction, we have to have access to this lab. It provides us all the resources to make sure that our kids can be competitive in STEM, even though we're a single site.
It wasn't long before we realized that while science equipment is great, it's only part of the array of things that teachers need to effectively implement rigorous, engaging classrooms.
And so it's created a community framework or network in which it can support teachers with 5 different products and services.
We've added continuing education workshops, a service learning program, a copy print center, and a teacher-free store, which now serves over 800 teachers a year across all subjects and grades.
My name is Letitia Broden. I am a 3rd grade math and science teacher. The lab has so many different resources. The copy machines, the printers is available for teachers to be able to support them.
STEM Library Lab is really at the forefront of creating this STEM ecosystem for organizations and educators to come together, which is really needed to build a diverse, well-prepared STEM workforce pipeline.
I don't know where we'd be without STEM Library Lab.
Louisiana ranks 48th in education, and it's easy to know why. Miss Broden's third grade classroom in New Orleans East lacks the basics. I mean markers, scissors, notebooks, pencils. Remember that list of supplies your children's teachers send out each fall? Her public school serves 86% low-income students, so anything her students need, she buys herself. Until she discovered there's a place she can get those supplies for free. That's where STEM Library Lab's Teacher Free Store comes in. Public school teachers spend, on average, $450 of their own money on classroom supplies each year. The free store is just what it sounds like, a room full of classroom materials and office supplies, donated from local businesses and retired educators. Teachers come shop for free and pick up items they previously have had to come out of pocket for: binders, desk organizers, decorations, even office chairs. The average shopper leaves with over $150 in materials per trip. Ms. Broden is among over 800 teachers who come to STEM Library Lab, or as we say, SLL, for the free store, but then discover so much more: materials, coaching, community, and inspiration. Every year, almost 30% of Orleans Parish teachers leave the classroom, compared to 9% nationally. Lack of resources or support is a major cause. To address this, SLL opened in 2017 as a library of science equipment that teachers could borrow for free. Many, like Ms. Broden, seek more knowledge, so we added new services like continuing education workshops. All our programs are dedicated to answering the question, how do we empower teachers to create lasting school communities for our city's highest risk students? Since relocating to our new building, the Teacher Free Store has quickly become our most visited program, serving 580 K-12 teachers this school year since just July. But the Free Store needs your help. It's in a warehouse without air conditioning, and honestly, it's pretty dingy. In August during back to school time, it's rough. Our teachers need and deserve a place where they feel safe, supported, and valued. Your Impact 100 funding will provide a transformational gift that enables us to launch a one-year growth plan and make the Free Store self-sufficient. Funds will craft an outreach campaign to teachers in under-resourced schools, grow our pipeline of donated materials, repair the air conditioning, and organize volunteer systems so the Free Store stays staffed at no cost. SLL currently works with over 800 teachers per year. With your vote today, we'll increase our reach to 2,000 per year, or 25% of all teachers in the region. Now, Ms. Broden's classroom has posters on the walls, staplers, and a full jar of pencils. Because of this, her third graders are engaged in deep learning, using microscopes from our library to investigate parts of a cell from samples they collected themselves. And the Impact 100 funding will ensure that Ms. Broden's classroom remains a safe, creative space for years to come. Thank you. Great.
Where is your warehouse? Where is the warehouse?
We're located right off Bonneville on the service road in Metairie. Yes.
How much to repair your air conditioning?
$25,000 is the estimate. I think that's hopefully a high estimate, but $25,000.
Where do the majority of the teachers who utilize your library come from? Which parishes?
So the parishes are about 75% Orleans Parish teachers and 25% Jefferson Parish. We do serve teachers in other parishes: St. Bernard, St. Tammany, Tangi, St. Charles. And the majority of the teachers that we serve are, about 60% are coming from under-resourced schools, which we've identified as schools that are receiving a C, D, or an F on their school performance score, schools that are 60% or more serving low-income students, and schools that are 80% or more students of color.
How do they find you?
So outreach is the biggest problem that we have, and that's where we need this funding to make sure that teachers can find us. Right now, the major way that teachers find us is word of mouth and social media. We find that when a teacher walks in for the first time because they've seen us on social media, they go, oh my gosh, I didn't know this place existed. And a couple of days later, we see 3 more teachers from their school. And then a couple of days later, we see 6 more teachers from their school. What we intend to do is craft an outreach campaign to target the teachers in the under-resourced schools that we've identified, and that means physically going to those schools, putting up flyers, sitting in teachers' lounges and saying, there is a resource for you that you didn't know existed, so that they do know in the future.
And how long have you been in operation?
We opened in 2017 as a library. The Free Store has been open full-time since 2022. We moved to a new location in 2021 and to our new building in 2021. So in 2022 is when the Free Store opened.
Hi. Is there a fee or any membership that the schools pay to access your services?
So for the Free Store, there is not, which is actually, which of course, when you run a Free Store, there's not a lot of ways to make money, which is why these things remain. We have other services, so we have a library, and in the library, anyone can come and borrow science equipment for free. We also have a membership model where a school that is interested can sign up for an annual membership of about $3,000, and that gets them access to all the things in the library, plus pickup and delivery, plus a few other services. And we run professional continuing learning services for schools. So we have a few earned revenue sources, but by and large, all of our programs are intended to be free.
Where did your original funding come from, or where do you get the funding now?
So we're in the building that we're in now through, we have a 10-year lease, and the rent has been granted to us from a local family foundation. So the majority of our funding, about 70% of our total funding, comes from philanthropic funds, and about 30% comes from earned revenue through the programs and services that we run. Yes?
I can just yell. When a teacher checks out equipment or whatever, does a lesson plan come with it, or is it just the equipment?
So in the library, when they check out equipment, they show up in all sorts of forms. There are teachers who walk in and say, I know exactly what I'm doing. I need microscopes and I need slides. And there are teachers who say, last year when I taught the water cycle, it was crazy. What do you have for me? So we see teachers of all stripes come through, and we are prepared to help them. Sometimes it's kits, sometimes it's just an idea of how to put together a lesson. Oh, I think.
The Free Store is for not just STEM teachers, right?
Correct. It's for K-12 teachers of all subjects and grades. We serve public, private, parochial, homeschools. If you self-identify as a teacher, we want to help you. Great, thank you.
Wonderful, great job. And wonderful questions. Thank you all for being so engaged and attentive. Again, this is really important work. As Todd was presenting, some of you know that I worked in the nonprofit sector and in philanthropy for about 20 years. So I was on the other side doing these presentations and doing these pitches, and it is hard. It is hard. It is difficult. Part of the challenge is that, you know, when you get into this work, you want to help the community. You want to transform the community. And you don't really envision yourself being the person that is doing some of the administrivia of that work, because again, it's boots on the ground. It's the urgency of your mission is first and foremost. So to be able to present in this way and to be able to respond to your questions and just be here kind of on the spot. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the organizations who are showing up here today and those who we've worked with over time. I do want to say that it's great that they have been coached, so being able to have coaching and being able to have video production and having a community of people at Greater New Orleans Foundation who are supporting them not only in what you see in front of you today, but in the lead up. That is a tremendous resource for these organizations as well. So I just, again, I want to reiterate how grateful I am to these organizations, but also grateful to the foundation for the work that they're doing to really hold up these organizations and support the work that's happening in our community. So if you'll indulge me again, I have another round of trivia before we get to the next presentation. This one may be a little, well, I'm not going to give an assessment or judgment on how easy or not it is. So we're all familiar with the word bayou. And yes, I do have the answers in front of me. But who can tell me what it actually means? What does the word bayou actually mean? What is the kind of literal translation for bayou? Yes, well, slow-moving river, but yes, very good. It is likely that that bayou originated from local Choctaw language. So again, trivia, very important knowledge to know the origins of our languages, of our words and of our language. When I did move here, I shared that I'm a North Carolinian, my husband's from New Orleans. I also learned about different pronunciations. So I learned that Burgundy is, yes, exactly. I was the only one who did not know that. So yes, learning those translations and other pronunciations is really, really important. So next we have Alexis Marceau, who is with Friends of Lafitte Greenway in the environment category. So like the others, we will see a video from Friends of Lafitte Greenway, then we'll welcome Alexis up to tell us more about their work, and we'll leave room for a Q&A at the end. So without further ado, Friends of Lafitte Greenway.
New Orleans is challenged with climate change, lack of green space and free amenities, and in a public health crisis. The Greenway sits at the intersections of these challenges and solutions. Friends of Lafitte Greenway brings people together to tackle neighborhood flooding by planting native trees in rain gardens, by improving their chronic health issues at free group fitness classes year-round, and to experience joy with live music, theater, and public art.
I started coming to the Greenway in 2021 to attend the Get Fit free fitness classes as a part of my journey to better health. Now I run the Get Fit programs as well as other community programs for Friends of Lafitte Greenway.
In just 8 short years, the Lafitte Greenway has become the city's ultimate connector, connecting New Orleanians to nature, cultural events, fitness programming, citywide destinations, and each other. This linear park and bike path was built in 2015 on the site of an abandoned rail corridor that had been an eyesore for decades. Today, the Greenway spans 2.6 miles and connects 6 historic neighborhoods, including the French Quarter, Treme, Mid-City, and Bayou St. John.
We're making an impact. We see 500,000 visits to the park every year, and 11,000 New Orleanians participate in Greenway programming and events.
I love working here for the Greenway because it has such a positive impact on the community, and it welcomes everyone from all over the city.
The work we do on the Greenway is making life happier and healthier for people across New Orleans. That's why our work isn't just making the Greenway better, it's making the whole city better.
Hi there. Who here has visited the Lafitte Greenway? All right, yeah, I see some hands. Then you're one of the 500,000 visits we get on the Greenway every year. And that number goes up during events like Jazz Fest, French Quarter Fest, and Mardi Gras. The Lafitte Greenway is a 2.6-mile linear park that connects 6 diverse neighborhoods, from Mid-City to the Treme to the French Quarter. But the Greenway is not just a linear park. It's used for transportation, playgrounds, art installations, open green spaces, cultural programming, and free fitness classes year-round. The Greenway is truly the city's ultimate connector, connecting people to nature, their destinations, and each other. But like the rest of our region, we are experiencing routine flooding, lack of tree canopy, and extreme heat temperatures. Our environmental programming is setting a precedent for how nature-based stormwater management can reduce flooding and beautify our neighborhoods. We've planted 500 native cypress trees on the Greenway as part of a reforestation project. We've also planted 3 pollinator meadows to support the ecosystem of butterflies, bees, and insects. We've built one of the largest rain gardens in the city and contract with a local landscape company specializing in stormwater management. And they hire young adults who graduate from LA Green Corps' Green Infrastructure Certification Program. All of these programs are in partnership with 3 women-led organizations. Across all of our environmental, cultural, and public health programming, you can find the most important thing of all, your fellow New Orleanians living their best life. In addition to working for the Greenway, I'm also a professional musician. You can catch me at Jazz Fest in the spring. And I've toured all over the world, seeing many, many cities, and I've seen what else is out there. And I choose to live here because there's no place like it. But we all know this can be a hard place to live. To keep going, we need a glimpse of a better version of the city that we all know is possible. That often seems just out of reach. I invite you to come see us on the Greenway and see people enjoying this space as diverse as the city itself. So now that you know a little bit more about the Lafitte Greenway, what do we need from you? With your $100,000, you'll help us reach our goal of planting 1,000 native trees, sustaining our pollinator meadows for those beautiful bees and butterflies, and expanding our rain gardens to reduce flooding, provide workforce opportunities, and educate our community about green infrastructure. With your gift, we'll be able to continue to protect our historic neighborhoods and create lasting solutions that ensure our city is here, thriving for generations to come. Thank you. Any questions? I hope I answered all of them in my speech. Yes. Yes, they're one of our organizations I mentioned. They help us plant our trees. And with their work, we use their expertise in our tree plantings. We've already gotten 500 in the ground, and like I said, we're going to use some of this money to get the next 500 in. Yeah.
What's the cost of maintenance of the landscaping and the rain gardens, so beyond the initial capital expenditure of putting them in?
So if we were to expand it, is that what you mean?
No, I mean, how much of your budget has to go to maintenance to make sure that they stay nice rain gardens?
Yeah, so a year of maintenance is about $12,000. So, you know, if that answers your question, $12,000. But, and we work with Mastodont, the local landscape company, to help us keep up with the rain garden. It's a really beautiful part of the plaza, and it's educational for the community as well.
You mentioned public education as one of the ways you'd want to use the funds. Can you say a little bit more about what you envision ideally for the public education piece?
Sure. Mastodont, the landscaping company that we partner with, like I said, they hire LA Green Corps students to learn about green infrastructure, and then they pass that education on through their work. We also do tours where we get to talk about green infrastructure throughout the Greenway, and a lot of this money will help us continue with that work with Mastodont, but also, you know, continue our education programming through tours and people that visit the space.
Do you all have a membership program?
We sure do. Yes, you can go on LafitteGreenway.org to find to become a member, and we have lots of really fun benefits. Part of that membership program, mostly giving back to the Greenway, and it shows exactly what your dollars are going toward. We also have fun events that you can check us out through the membership program with. Yeah.
Do you have any plans on expanding the Greenway down all the way to City Park Avenue? Or?
Yes, we do. We're working with the city. The money's allocated for that, and so we're pushing and working with the city to hopefully within the spring, in the coming months, you know, get that ground broken. So we're working with them we meet with them every single month to kind of talk about what the next steps are, and we are stewards of the Greenway, so we're constantly pushing to get that going. But it is coming down the pipeline for sure.
And so does Parkway donate, because I come to the Thursday farmers market, do they donate the parking that allows us to park there? Parkway,
the farmers market?
Parkway Bakery.
Parkway, yes, they do. They're very good partners for us. We love Parkway. They help us. A lot of the local businesses that have developed along the Greenway, we're very close with, and we work with day in and day out. And so things like that, where the farmers market, that's the largest one in the city, and Parkway is gracious enough to let us use their parking lot for the cars that come in. But we also encourage biking the Greenway. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wonderful questions, and thank you, Alexis. Wonderful, wonderful. So, I'm trying to choose between more trivia or just talking. I don't know. So I think I'll do more trivia. So, we have heard from some great organizations, and I keep echoing that because I'm always thinking about how our community is changed, how our community is enriched, transformed, not only addressing challenges, but really building on futures that we want to see. I think that looking at the role of philanthropy and the potential for philanthropy, many times we focus on problems, but there's also another side, and that's allowing us to dream, allowing us to envision, allowing us to think about what we want to see for ourselves, for our children, our children's children, and for our community more broadly. So hearing these stories, hearing about this work, it definitely helps me to see, it encourages me to know that I think our future is in good hands because it's under great stewardship from people who are doing some tremendous work in our community. So, my next question, last question, and this one is around music and the arts. Since Alexis shared that she is a professional musician, last question that I have, in what year was jazz legend Louis Armstrong born? Yeah, another year question. Close. Yes, 1901. Did you Google it? You just said it, 1901. Yes, so great job, great job. So we are down to our final pitch, and for our final pitch of the afternoon, we will hear from Mark Raymond, who is the CEO of the Split Second Foundation, and Split Second Foundation falls in our health category. So as the other three, we will see a video from Split Second Foundation, followed by Mark's presentation, and then we'll have an opportunity for Q&A. So without further ado, Split Second Foundation.
Split Second started with my split second, an accident that happened 7 years ago in Lake Pontchartrain when I dove off the back of my best friend's boat, breaking the 5th vertebrae in my neck. What we've been able to create and curate from a community perspective is a supportive family environment where people can come, get connected to the resources they need, whether it's fitness, mental health, case management, but also be in a community with other people like them that understand what they're going through.
Split Second has impacted me greatly because, me being, paralyzed, once I got out the hospital, there was no outlet at first.
Whenever I was a therapist and I was discharging someone to the community, what is out there to catch them? The Split Second Foundation is catching people.
We are the first organization in the state of Louisiana to have a fitness program for people with disabilities.
We have a lot of clients who have formed a lot of friendships, and that has been instrumental to them regaining their level of independence.
I love being around people that, push me to be the best version of myself.
So we've been able to touch 500 people and families this year alone through our program offerings, whether that was fitness or the mental health and resource navigation program. There's no shortage of people in this community with some type of need. Split second is the reason I wake up every day. It's my purpose, it's my passion, and it's something that I think will have a lasting impact on this community and many communities as we continue to grow. That's perfect. I can do the rest, kind of. I got it. All right. Anyone's life can change in a split second. Imagine getting a phone call that your child or your spouse had an accident. Imagine getting to the hospital and learning that they had a stroke or an accident that paralyzed them. Imagine getting to inpatient therapy with them where you meet doctors and nurses and therapists that teach you how to live this life. And then imagine being discharged after just 6 weeks. Imagine feeling hopeless because there was no place to turn in the community for help. This was my family's experience and mirrors that of millions of Americans. We were frustrated with the lack of resources in our community, and that is why my mother and I founded the Split Second Foundation. We operate the only holistic wellness facility in the Gulf South, specifically for people with disabilities, centered around 2 programs. We opened our first program in January of 2021, Split Second Fitness, as to solve a simple problem, to provide people a place to go after they were discharged from outpatient therapy to continue their rehab and recovery journey. And we used fitness as the catalyst to build our community. Well, what quickly happened was people started to come with their other issues. They wanted to know about transportation, about caregiving, about nutrition. And thanks to a $100,000 grant from Blue Cross Blue Shield, we launched Split Second Cares, which is our mental health and resource navigation program in January of this year. To say that these 2 programs work in tandem to address the whole health of an individual is an understatement, but to see what we've been able to curate and collaboratively do for the disabled population more holistically in a community setting has been amazing. We've created an innovative model of healthcare in the community for the community, keeping people out of hospitals and mitigating secondary complications. We've helped more than 500 individuals and families through our programs, and we've also touched 100 student interns teaching future healthcare professionals how to work with the disabled. But our vision is much grander. As you probably saw in the video, our space is too small and we need a larger facility. Our current location is 1,900 square feet, but we have a large 8,000 square foot building under contract in New Orleans East, an area in our city that is dying for our type of innovation. And this building will be a hub of hope. With your vote today, with your $100,000 investment, your $100,000 will be the catalyst to make this wellness center a reality, allowing us to acquire the building and serve thousands more individuals and families a year. Together, we can give people hope, we can transform lives, one split second at a time. Thank you. Questions? Yes, ma'am. Ms. Bro.
Hi, is there a fee that individuals have to pay in order to access the split-second work?
There's a fee for our fitness program, and only the fitness program. It's $50 a month for the membership and $25 an hour for one-on-one sessions. But that's about 20% of the actual cost for the program. We subsidize the other 80% by throwing fundraisers, because honestly, most people with disabilities are very asset limited and resource limited. And when we initially opened the doors, we actually cut the cost completely. And I think we just started with a $25 monthly membership.
So where is your current location, and if you open the location in New Orleans East, will you keep your current one as well?
The current location is at 1995 Gentilly Boulevard, not far from here. And we're actually trying to do that because transportation is another huge barrier for this population. And so having two options would be optimal.
Does insurance pay for any of the health care that you provide? The fitness is therapy.
Insurance does not currently cover any of the services. They might cover the membership fee, but they won't cover one-on-one sessions. But for people with more severe physical limitations, I need somebody to help me work out, you know? And so that's what we need to provide. And that's what we're pushing them to think about in coverage for the future.
You mentioned mental health and you do a lot of physical therapy work. How do you pay your employees? Where does your current funding come from?
From grants, we have a great development team, and from our annual gala Show of Love. This year, our net profit from the Show of Love was $150,000. The rest has been grant funding and me going out holding a cardboard sign. Is there any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
How do your clients find you?
It's been mostly word of mouth and spread through the physical therapy community. A lot of times, and in our experience, physical therapists don't want to just discharge somebody into the community with no place to refer them to at least continue, because they'll end up with some type of secondary complication back in the hospital system and going down this rabbit hole. So all of the physical therapists, both at Turo and Ochsner, are referring their patients to us as they're being discharged. I think I got time for one more question. Yes, ma'am.
What's the length of time that somebody would stay with you? Is it just an ongoing relationship, or is there a point where they can...
We see it as a lifelong relationship. Yep.
How many staff therapists do you have?
We have 6.
Full-time?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Whoever said we need more members, yes to that, yes. Yes, wow. This is very, the gravity of our work it's very real, it's very real. As I was listening to Mark, and just again thinking and reflecting on all of the presentations, we have them in categories, right? So we have education, we have health, we have environment, we have community improvement, but those categories are expanded when you start to hear the amount of work that they do. And you know, yes, health, but also when you hear about some of the financial limitations, there's an economic development component to that. When you hear about the work of Friends of Lafitte Greenway and environmental work, there's an educational component. So I really start to see the web of the work that's being done and how it all comes together, and how these organizations, those who we support, are addressing the most pressing needs within our communities. So I'm just, again, grateful for the organizations who have presented here, for them sharing their time, their resources, their energy, beyond the work that they do day to day, beyond the families and individuals whose lives they've impacted. They share their time with us to tell us more about their work. Another thing alongside that is I think that this is a great opportunity for us as members of Impact 100. Yes, we have the daunting task, the unfair task, and if we need more money. We have the unfair task of having to choose one for a $100,000 contribution. And it certainly when I heard that, yes, we need more members so that we can do more, but we do have in this moment the task of choosing. So here's what you can expect in the next 24 hours or so, actually. Today, all members will receive an email with a link to vote for the nonprofit of your choice. The email will include a video of today's presentations in case you need a quick refresher and you want to kind of sit with it a little bit more. You'll have until Sunday, November 12th to vote, and voting will close Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully you've adjusted your clocks so that you don't find yourself in a situation where you can't vote. Now, after you've selected the winning nonprofit, or after we've selected the winning nonprofit, we'll surprise the winner with the news and a $100,000 check on Monday, November the 13th. My second favorite, well, my favorite to this, and yeah, another favorite event of mine with Impact 100, being able to present that $100,000 check to the winning nonprofit. Now, while there only be one winner of the $100,000 grant, no one walks away empty-handed here. The other three participating nonprofits will receive $5,000 each. So they will get support. They will be able to say that they are being supported by Impact 100. Certainly $5,000 is not the $100,000 contribution, but they will receive an investment of $5,000 each. And if anyone here has worked within the nonprofit sector, being able to pull all things together to make it work is something that many of us have done, and we make it work. But certainly a more significant, a larger investment will help their future. So yes, everyone is going to walk away receiving something. And then finally, we celebrate. So we will be hosting a happy hour on December 6th to congratulate our winner. Also, it offers an opportunity for us to get back together and fellowship with one another and celebrate the work that we have accomplished up to this point, and also hopefully think about some of the things that we can do in the future to increase our impact as Impact 100. The happy hour will be hosted at Cole Pratt Gallery, located on Magazine Street. So I hope to see you all there on December 6th. So in closing, I want us to thank our nonprofits again for putting together these amazing presentations. This takes so much courage, it takes so much passion, it takes so much commitment, and I'm quite frankly honored to be able to stand here and support them in the way that I'm supporting them. So thank you to our nonprofits. If they're listening backstage in the green room, I hope they can hear that we really, really appreciate them. I also want to thank Maureen Hewley, who helps our nonprofits to create inspiring and engaging pitches. Is Maureen here in the room? Is she here? She's not here. Well, thank you, Maureen. Thank you to the Greater New Orleans Foundation staff for all you did to pull this event together. So our Greater New Orleans Foundation staff, wave so we can thank you. You all can come up, just come up. Come on up. They don't want to. I'm going to embarrass them anyway. Okay, fine. So thank you all for all that you've done to put this together. This is, again, a wonderful event, and all the support that you've shown Impact 100 through the years. We truly, truly, deeply appreciate it. And last but not least, I want to thank you again. You will never I will never grow tired of saying thank you. You may grow tired of hearing me thank you, but you're just going to have to live with it, because I'm going to continue to thank you and thank you and thank you and thank you. Because of people like you, because of you, we are able to sow into our community in a meaningful way and make sure that our community stays strong, vibrant, healthy, and grows. So again, my thanks and my gratitude to you. Don't forget to vote. I have a pen here in case you're forgetting. Don't forget to vote in all of the opportunities that you may have to vote this week. So please don't forget to vote. Be on the lookout for that email, and have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Thank you.